If you ask most people who controls the AI industry, they'll probably say Nvidia. And they'd be half right. Because while Nvidia designs the chips that power artificial intelligence, there's another company that most people have never even heard of, and that decides whether those chips can exist at all. It doesn't make AI. It doesn't even make chips. It makes the machines that make chips. And from a quiet little town in the Netherlands, it holds the keys to the entire AI revolution. Its name is ASML. Every AI model, from ChatGPT to Gemini to Midjourney, runs on processors built with patterns smaller than a virus. Those patterns are carved into silicon using light, a process called lithography. And ASML is the only company on Earth that can build the machines that do it. Not one of a few. Not the best. The only one. These machines are not computers. They are more like science fiction reactors. Each one costs over $380 million. It contains more than 100,000 parts and takes a Boeing 747 to deliver. Oh, inside the machine, lasers fire 50,000 times per second at droplets of molten tin, creating bursts of plasma hotter than the surface of the sun. That plasma emits extreme ultraviolet light so pure and so short in wavelength that it can etch circuits just a few nanometers wide. That's how chips like Nvidia's H100s and Apple's M4s are made. And every single one of them starts with ASML's light. ASML's story began in 1984 when two Dutch companies, Philips and ASM International, joined forces in a small town called Veldhoven. For decades, they were a niche player building photolithography machines that nobody outside the semiconductor world even noticed. Then came the 2000s when the world started running out of room on microchips. To make transistors smaller, chip makers needed a new kind of light called ultraviolet light, which is so short that it doesn't even exist naturally on Earth. Generating and controlling that light took 30 years, $10 billion in research and development, and partnerships with more than 5,000 suppliers across Europe, Japan, and the United States. The result was the most complex machine humanity has ever built, the EUV lithography system. Only ASML pulled it off. Intel tried, Canon tried, Nikon tried, and they all failed. Today, ASML holds a 100% monopoly on EUV lithography, and that monopoly controls the future of every advanced chip. Here's the twist. ASML doesn't design GPUs. It doesn't train neural networks, but every AI chip ever produced. By Nvidia, AMD, Intel, TSMC, or Samsung all depend on ASML's machines. Think of it as the invisible bottleneck in the AI economy. In 2024, the world's chip makers bought around 55 EUV machines, and there's already a waiting list stretching for years. Each machine can produce chips with 3 nanometer transistors, and the next generation, called the high NA EUV, will cut that nearly in half. That's the technology fueling Nvidia's next generation of GPUs, Apple's next breakthrough chips, and OpenAI's next frontier models. Without ASML, Moore's law, the idea that chips keep doubling in power would have ended long ago. Without ASML, there would be no ChatGPT, no Gemini, no AI boom. And with that monopoly comes global power. The United States knows that whoever controls ASML's machines controls the pace of AI advancement. That's why Washington pressured the Dutch government to restrict exports of ASML's EUV tools to China, a move that is now reshaping global technology. China can still build its own chips, but not at the 3 nanometer scale. Without ASML, they're locked out of the frontier. Inside ASML's headquarters, engineers talk about photons and optics, while outside, the diplomats talk about sanctions and strategy, because the company's light is not just physics, it's geopolitics. A single shipment from ASML can shift the balance of power in global technology. In 2025, ASML began shipping its newest high-NA EUV system machines that cost nearly $400 million each and can print circuits just 2 nanometers wide. Intel, TSMC, and Samsung are among the first customers. Each delivery is like handing over a key to the future. ASML's CEO, Peter Wennink, once said, "We are not just making machines. We are enabling technology that shapes society." And he's right. ASML isn't competing in the AI race. It is fueling it. Every chatbot response, every self-driving algorithm, every quantum simulation traces back to a beam of light that was born in a Dutch laboratory. The next industrial revolution isn't powered by coal, oil, or data. It's powered by light, and only one company controls that light. So when people say Nvidia runs the AI world, remember this. Even the most powerful chip starts its life in a flash of light from ASML.